Here and everywhere, the game goes on. In the big sports arenas and the small gyms, basketball players are constantly on the move, on their feet, for these moving, driving feet. We make the shoes, worn by 8 out of 10 players who have to care about what they wear. Converse All-Stars.
Converse, manufacturers of America's #1 basketball shoe, the Converse All-Star, brings you the 27th in a series of championship basketball films. You'll see the top games, the top stars, and interesting sidelights of America's greatest game. As the 1972-1973 regular basketball season concludes, a brand new season begins. It's tournament time. Let's take a look at the collegiate and professional postseason classics that made history. In Hutchinson, Kansas, Mercer County of Trenton, New Jersey gains the finals of the National Junior College Tournament against the host team, Hutchinson. Hutchinson is led by number 33, Tico Winder, with Winder and number 45, Rudy Jackson, supplying the firepower. Hutchinson finished the year with a 29-4 record. On the other hand, Mercer has 2 aces of its own. Number 14, Rich Frieda, and number 10, Mel Weldon, form a devastating combination for the Vikings, seeking their 34th win in 37 games. The Mercer defense forces Hutchinson into numerous turnovers, and Mel Weldon converts. 20 points by Weldon, along with Rich Frieda's 23, helped make Mercer County of Trenton, New Jersey, the 1973 Junior College champions. Guilford College of Greensboro, North Carolina takes on Maryland Eastern Shore in the first All-Eastern Finals in the 36-year history of the NAIA Championship. Interestingly enough, 6 of the 8-seeded teams have been eliminated prior to the semifinals. Now in the final game, it's Guilford in red, hoping to pull off the biggest upset of them all. M.L. Carr gets them off winging with a flying tip-in. Holding a slim 50-48 lead at halftime, Guilford goes to high-scoring Lloyd Free in the second half. Free, a freshman out of Brooklyn, New York, learns some of his coursemanship from Earl the Pearl Monroe. With less than 6 minutes remaining, Guilford is on top, 83-76. Greg Jackson and Teddy East combine for a defensive steal, and then East scores the layup on a pretty play. Jackson almost makes it 2 thefts in a row, but Bill Gordon regains control for Eastern Shore. Tyrone Johnson rebounds and scores, but it's not enough. Underdog Guilford completes a tournament filled with upsets by beating Maryland Eastern Shore 99-96 for the NAIA title. The finals in the annual Converse Run, Dribble, and Shoot competition were held at Buffalo's Memorial Auditorium. Thousands of youngsters in age groups from 9 to 14 competed in the contest. Their skills were tested by uninterrupted dribbling through an obstacle course into a driving layup, foul shooting, and shooting from specified floor positions. Swish. A perfect bank shot. This young man might be a future Converse All-American. Winners receive a beautiful trophy and a trip to the NBA championship game. The presentations are made by Buffalo Braves coach Jack Ramsey and Dave Campbell, a member of the basketball advisory staff of Converse. The NCAA College Division Championship is on the line as Kentucky Wesleyan squares off against Tennessee State at Roberts Municipal Stadium in Evansville, Indiana. Steve Walker of Kentucky steals. And Roger Zorns winds up with a 2-pointer. The Panthers boast 3-pronged dynamite in Zorns, Girona Ralston, and number 44, Mike Williams. But Tennessee State ties the score late in the first half. Tennessee employs a zone. Ralston cracks it with a deadly outside shot. Mike Johnson retaliates with a Tennessee State bomb, and at the end of the first half, the score is tied at 32. Well into the second half, it's still anybody's game. Kentucky Wesleyan's strategy keeps Tennessee State away from the boards. Jim Green rebounds, and now Kentucky comes up court. Mike Williams fakes. Now he shoots and scores. With the score tied in the final seconds, Tennessee State works the ball to Gilbert Williams, and he scores. The Panthers come back in a hurry. Jim Green feeds Mike Williams. The shot is up, and it's in. A 64-all tie at the end of regulation time. The hard-nosed Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers were champions in 1966, 68, and 69. Now they're looking for their fourth title. Ralston hits it, trailing 77-72. Tennessee State must now battle the clock. Mike Johnson brings the Tigers to within 3. Kentucky's Mike Williams connects from the foul line for his 27th point. Ron James counters with a last-ditch effort, but Tennessee State falls short as Kentucky Wesleyan takes a thrilling 78-76 overtime decision and the NCAA Small College Championship. In New York's Madison Square Garden, it's Notre Dame and Virginia Tech matching talent in the NIT. Bobby Stevens, Virginia Tech's sharpshooter, displays a soft touch. While the smaller Gobblers depend on outside shooting, the Irish call on powerful John Shoemate inside and out, along with super-quick Dwight Clay. The teams trade baskets until Tech puts a hot streak together and opens up a 10-point bulge with less than 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Notre Dame is in trouble, so they look to their big man, John Shoemate. He responds as Notre Dame battles back. Virginia Tech got to the finals with exciting wins over New Mexico, Fairfield, and Alabama. Now they have a surprising 44-40 halftime lead over Notre Dame. But the Irish put it all together in the second half and race off to a 70-58 lead. The Gobblers fight right back behind Bobby Stevens' outstanding clutch shooting. With just 10 seconds left, Notre Dame has a slim 2-point advantage. Virginia Tech has time for one more shot. The ball goes over to Craig Leader. Leader jumps it up from 20 feet, and it's good! In the 5-minute overtime, Notre Dame takes the lead, but Bobby Stevens brings Tech back again. The Irish refuse to wilt. In the final minute, Gary Brokaw gives Notre Dame a 1-point margin. 12 seconds show on the clock, and the crowd is going wild. Here's the one play neither team will ever forget. Bobby Stevens fakes. Now he puts it up. The rebound bounces back out to Stevens, and he shoots again. It's good as the buzzers sound, and it's all over. Virginia Tech fans, cheerleaders, friends, and relatives alike storm the court to celebrate with their come-from-behind heroes. In the most dramatic NIT championship game of all time, Virginia Tech stuns Notre Dame in a 92-91 overtime classic. St. Louis Arena is the setting for the NCAA championship as undefeated UCLA defends its national title against Memphis State. My, how styles have changed from 1939, the year of the very first NCAA tournament, captured by Oregon. Though the game may have changed, the college spirit and desire remain constant. Back in the old days, the two-handed set shot was as popular as the jump shot is today. And in spite of the racehorse style, teams only scored 40 to 60 points a game. Watch this 40-foot bank set shot coming up. Not bad. But I doubt you'll see any of those as UCLA and Memphis State battle for the 1973 national crown. The UCLA Bruins come out firing and hitting. Memphis State stays close with timely shooting by Larry Finch, Larry Keenan, and Ronnie Robinson. UCLA has won 74 straight games, 6 consecutive national championships. Yet they show no effects of pressure. Memphis State doesn't lose its poise either, and Larry Finch gives the Tigers a first-half standoff at 39 apiece. This is Bill Walton. UCLA coach John Wooden ranks him with the best he's ever coached. Walton is the one man who can turn a game around, and watch him do it. An imposing force on offense, an intimidator on defense, Bill Walton is the king of the court. The only thing that can stop Bill Walton is injury, and that's what happens. In an attempt to block Larry Keenan's shot, Walton goes down. A sprained ankle prevents him from returning, but Walton has left his impression. His 44 points and 13 rebounds earn him the Most Valuable Player award and wipes out all upset ambitions by Memphis State. Here's a fine display of sportsmanship as Larry Finch helps Walton to the bench. And isn't that what college athletics is all about? Leading 85-66, the Bruins are home free. All-American Keith Wilkes closes out the scoring with a one-handed rebound shot, and the final score is UCLA 87, Memphis State 66. UCLA records win number 75 in a row and their 7th straight NCAA championship, the greatest collegiate dynasty of them all. UCLA may be the most successful, but they're certainly not the first team to be labeled a dynasty. Through the years, there's been the University of Kentucky, the University of San Francisco, and the University of Cincinnati. The Kentucky Wildcats ruled the college courts with 3 championships in 4 years. With Alex Groza in the pivot and Ralph Beard quarterbacking the backcourt, Kentucky rolled past Baylor for their first NCAA crown in 1948. In 1951, they became the first team to capture 3 national titles. Their stars by then included Big Bill Spivey up front and Frank Ramsey at guard. Their coach was, of course, Adolph the Baron Rupp. The University of San Francisco burst into prominence in 1955 and 56 with 2 consecutive NCAA championships and a 55-game win streak. The backcourt ace was Casey Jones, and Mr. Inside was none other than big number 6, Bill Russell. Russell revolutionized defensive play with his intimidating switching. He virtually owned the backboards and tipped in anything his teammates missed on offense. The Dons whipped LaSalle for the 1955 title and then faced Big Ten champ Iowa in the 1956 final. The Hawkeyes jumped off to an early 11-point lead, but once again, it was a case of too much Bill Russell. San Francisco took its 2nd straight national championship, and Bill Russell went on to continue his dynasty in the pro ranks. In 1961, the University of Cincinnati faced undefeated Ohio State in the championship game. The Bearcats were led by Bob Weisenhorn and Paul Hogue. Ohio State boasted an All-America trio in Larry Siegfried, John Havlicek, and Jerry Lucas. Overcoming the steady scoring of tournament MVP Jerry Lucas, Cincinnati ended Ohio State's 32-game winning streak with a stunning 70-65 upset in overtime. The Bearcats repeated the effort in 1962, topping Ohio State in the finals again. Then they set their sights on a 3rd straight NCAA crown. Loyola of Chicago was the opponent, and Cincinnati appeared to be in command with a 15-point lead with 14 minutes remaining. But a furious Loyola rally ended the Cincinnati dream 60-58 in overtime. And for the next decade, college basketball has been spelled UCLA. We proudly present the 42nd annual Converse All-America basketball team. Compiled from a nationwide poll of 932 college coaches, sports writers, and sportscasters, this is the most universal poll in the nation. Number 52 is Jim Brewer of Minnesota, an awesome 6'9", 220-pounder. Brewer signed a multi-million-dollar contract to play pro ball with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Brewer means board strength, and the Minnesota Star proved his point with over 1,000 rebounds as a collegian. Doug Collins of Illinois State is a quick, strong guard who became the NBA's #1 draft choice. As good as Collins was in college, averaging 25 points a game, he should be even better in the future. Doug Collins, everybody's All-America. Ernie DiGregorio was a ball-handling sensation while averaging more than 20 points per game in 3 seasons at Providence College. He led the Friars to the NCAA Eastern Regional title and was outstanding in the series between the U.S. All-Star team and the Russians. Kevin Joyce of South Carolina is a tricky ball handler, playmaker, and scorer. Joyce is especially noted for his cool and clutch situations. A standout example of hustle and drive, Kevin Joyce ranks high as a Converse All-America. Dwight Lamar played his basketball at Southwest Louisiana, and if you never saw him in action, you missed one of the wildest shows in town. He scored 40 points in a single game 27 times. Following a career average of 31 points a game, Dwight Lamar looks forward to playing with the San Diego Conquistadors of the ABA. Tom McMillan of Maryland is 6'11" and 215 pounds. McMillan has a soft shooting touch for such a big man, and he's only a junior. With 2 varsity seasons under his belt, as well as a trip to the Olympics, Tom McMillan will be back for another Terrapin season next year. Ed Ratliff, a 2-time All-American out of Columbus, Ohio, played his collegiate basketball at Long Beach State. Ratliff is the all-time scoring and rebound leader at Long Beach and should have a successful career at guard in the professional ranks. Dave Thompson is the youngest member of the Converse All-America team. Thompson led North Carolina State to a perfect record, and although he's only a sophomore, he's earned the nickname of Dr. D for his Julius Erving-type moves. Number 52, Keith Wilkes of UCLA, is smooth as silk. A fine shooter, Wilkes will return along with Bill Walton to lead UCLA once again next season. Keith Wilkes, 6'6" and 180 pounds, of genuine All-America. Rounding out our All-America team is Player of the Year, Bill Walton. The premier collegiate player for the past 2 seasons, Walton is the dominating force in the college game today. At 6'11" and 220 pounds, Walton can do it all. Blocking shots, scoring, rebounding, and passing, Walton was largely responsible for UCLA's incredible 75-game winning streak. Look for Bill Walton to be in the same position again next year. This is the final basketball game of the 1972 Olympics. It's Russia in red, the USA in white, and the winner receives the gold medal. The U.S. has never lost in Olympic competition, but they're on the verge of having that streak fractured by a strong, experienced, and aggressive Russian team. The USSR is up by 2 points with less than a minute to play, and Sergei Belov is on the foul line. Belov's free throw makes it Russia 49, USA 46. Jim Forbes shoots. It's up and it's good, and the Russians' lead is cut to 1 point at 49-48. The Americans need the ball. The Russians need an insurance bucket. Tom McMillan blocks a shot, and Doug Collins steals the pass out. Collins drives in for the basket, and is he fouled? Doug Collins will go to the free throw line for 2 shots with just 3 seconds remaining in the game. The first is up, and it's in, and the score is tied. The second shot, it's good. The U.S. leads by 1. Russia inbounds, but time has been called by the Soviet coach. U.S. coach Hank Iber protests it's an illegal timeout, but to no avail. The clock is reset at 1 second, and the Russians will bring the ball inbounds a second time. Length of the court pass is tipped wide, and the U.S. wins it 50-49. The American players go wild. They fought back from a 10-point deficit to preserve a perfect record in Olympic competition. The United States has captured the basketball gold medal once more. But wait! While the Americans are celebrating, there's confusion at the scorer's table. The Russians claim the clock was not properly reset. Their claim is upheld, and the clock is set at 3 seconds once again to allow the USSR a third opportunity to inbound the ball. 6'11", Tom McMillan moves in to defend against the pass, but the referee signals him away from the baseline. Two smaller men, Kevin Joyce and Jim Forbes, are guarding big Alexander Beloff under the U.S. basket. Beloff gets the pass. Now he shoots, and he scores! Now it's the Russians' turn to celebrate, and this time it counts. The United States has been dethroned for the first time in Olympic basketball history. Alexander Beloff's shot at the buzzer gives Russia a 51-50 victory. The Russians capture the gold medal in one of the most confusing basketball games of this or any other year. United States protests and official appeals are denied, and the final verdict stands as Russia takes the 1972 gold medal. In the spring of 1973, some 8 months after the Olympics, the Russians visit the United States for a 6-game series. The Soviet team is not the exact one that captured the gold medal, but many players remain on the roster. The American team is not the Olympic squad either, but a newly assembled all-star team. The head coach of the U.S. quintet is Basketball Hall of Famer Bob Cousy. While here, Russian basketball players have shown a preference for American-made equipment. Here's Alexander Beloff and his Converse All-Stars. This game, like the Olympics, is played under international rules. International rules create a contest that is similar to basketball as we know it, but also not at all unlike football as we know it. Body contact is at a maximum, and at times, it appears that mayhem is legal. The score is kept basketball style, and the U.S. grabs an early lead. That's Sven Nader hitting the jump shot. Len Elmore muscles a rebound, and number 12, Ernie DiGregorio, goes to work for the Americans. Pretty shot. Now Ernie D gives the Russians a lesson in one-on-one basketball as the U.S. establishes a 43-32 halftime advantage. Ivan Dvorny throws a left-handed hook shot over Tom Henderson as the Russians attempt a second-half comeback. Dvorny and Alexander Beloff spark the Soviets, but it's not enough to overcome the overall play of Providence's Ernie DiGregorio, voted the game's outstanding performer. DiGregorio carries the U.S. to an 83-75 victory and a 4-2 win in the series. The American Basketball Association final comes down to the Indiana Pacers and the Kentucky Colonels. The Pacers in white must control the boards to win. The Colonels have a bona fide 7-footer in Otis Gilmore, but Indiana has Mel Daniels, George McGinnis, and Darnell Hillman, a tough rebounding trio in any league. George McGinnis dunks one in for Indiana, but Louis Dampier answers with a three-point bomb for Kentucky. The Pacers work the ball in close, and McGinnis sets up Darnell Hillman for a slam dunk. Otis Gilmore keeps Kentucky in the fight with a jump shot. Dan Issel misses on a drive, but Gilmore puts the rebound up and in while Indiana coach Bobby Leonard lets the officials know he's not thrilled with the way things are going. Mel Daniels hands off to Darnell Hillman. Hillman jumps it up. It's good. Jim O'Brien brings Kentucky back on the run. O'Brien feeds the trail of Dan Issel, and Issel makes sure of that two-pointer. George McGinnis misses the rebound to Hillman, who puts the hook shot up and over big Otis Gilmore. But it doesn't pay to embarrass Otis Gilmore. When he gets angry, look out. Unstoppable Gilmore hook. Freddie Lewis gets the hot hand for Indiana, along with Mel Daniels and Darnell Hillman. In the long run, the Pacers' depth and balanced scoring holds off the Colonels in a rugged 7-game series that goes right down to the wire. The Indiana Pacers down the Kentucky Colonels 4-3 for their second consecutive ABA championship, their third in 4 years. In 1972, Willis Reed was confined to the sidelines as the New York Knicks lost the NBA crown to the Los Angeles Lakers and Wilt Chamberlain dominated. The Lakers took the series 4-1. But in 1973, Willis Reed returned to action to challenge the Lakers in a title rematch. Reed helped New York take 3 of the first 4 games, and now they look for the clincher on the Los Angeles Forum Court in Game 5. Bill Bradley penetrates for a short jump shot. It's good. Chamberlain's effectiveness is minimized as Reed moves outside. As long as Willis is hitting, Wilt must keep going out with him. Willis Reed is back to the form that brought New York the NBA title in 1970. Earl Monroe races up court. Watch the moves. The Knicks pull ahead with bullseye shooting from Walt Frazier, Willis Reed, and Bill Bradley. The Knicks move the ball to the open man. This time it's Jerry Lucas. There's the bomb. And he hits. Dave DeBusschere is injured with the Knicks leading by 14 at 79-65 early in the fourth quarter. And now the Lakers must make their move. Jerry West connects with a reverse layup, but Los Angeles can't put a lengthy spurt together as New York pounds the defensive boards with Reed and Phil Jackson sharing the heavy duty. Los Angeles keeps fighting back. Gail Goodrich hits, but the Lakers' rally is doomed as the Knicks hold on for a 102-93 victory. The New York Knicks capture the NBA championship with an exact reversal of last year's series as they topple the Los Angeles Lakers 4-1. Willis Reed races off with the game ball and MVP honors in one of 1973's most heartwarming comeback performances.